Redzovic. I'm here with Ibro, Doug, and George. And we're here. It's week 2, episode 2. And we're super excited to, do this consistently moving forward. It's our second show. It's our first live show. Actually, we did a live fight companion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's another fight coming up this week, right? Or next week?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. I think they're taking this week off.
The McGregor fight? Yeah, maybe we'll do one of those. We'll see. But yeah, here we are. And again, we're using this platform to first and foremost communicate to our community here and talk about issues that would be useful to you all here in our community. And not just our little community here, just the Jiu Jitsu community in whole, issues that I'm sure arise in all different academies. And so here we are. If you have any questions now that we're live, we can take those on air. So feel free to comment. Let us know what's on your mind. What's on your guys' mind? How's your week been going? Or actually your weekend?
It was fun.
Yeah, can't complain. Living. We went to a spa twice. So fully relaxed, ready to train.
Which spa did you go to?
King Spa in Niles.
That was so sick.
There was a spot.
Changed my life.
You guys did hot and cold?
I did everything, yeah. I went in the hot sauna where it was like 220 degrees. Had like a spiritual moment in there. Like trying to I went in there alone. I was focused on my breathing. Just thinking about how small I am. This got real deep with it. But it was so good. And I feel great.
How long did you stay? How long do you typically stay in the hot?
So that day we went late, so the hot room wasn't as hot as usually. It was around 220. And so I was in there for about 8 minutes, a few rounds of 8 minutes-ish. And then today I went earlier in the morning when they just opened it, and it was at 260. So it was a whole different world. It was not like you can't sit in there normally. I walked in at first, just started cooking instant, like burning. And then I came out, and this old lady comes to me. She's like, "No, you got to cover up everything." So they give you these quilts with eye holes in them, so you can cover yourself, but you can see. And then so I took one, I wrapped it around my shoulders, so just covered my body. I took one, put it around my head. Took my towels, wrapped around my face. Went in there and sat down for about a minute, a minute 30, and then I was out of there. Yeah. I sweat like never before.
What's your routine? Do you take a break and then you go into the cold and then take a break, or are you just going back and forth?
I was going back and forth, yeah.
And how long are you in the cold?
Cold about 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Cool down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my favorite way to recover too.
Yeah.
Go in the hot, cold. I would go, I'm going to guess it's around 220, same thing as Fahrenheit. Or the 220. Probably if I can get 10 minutes, will be, I think, something to strive for. And then I would typically jump right into the cold. Actually, I still do that, hot, cold. So I would go back and forth, but you're there probably every now and then hearing people talk, ask them questions, try to figure things out. And for a while I was obsessed to find out what is the right way to do it. Is it 3 rounds of how many minutes? And I was asking everybody, and I found some value in waiting between the rounds for your body to kind of self-regulate the temperature. So hot, cold, and then relax for 10, 15 minutes, and then do it again.
Okay. I was just going back and forth. Mm-hmm. This one, when it was really hot, I guess they just started the fire. And the lady she's like, because there's a restaurant right next to the place, and they're they cook the eggs in there. They just put them on the floor. And I was like, for real?
Oh, wow.
They just boil eggs in there that way. And then...
remind me not to eat the eggs there.
Yeah, just off the floor. And then she goes... Or no, she doesn't go anything. She explains how I can sit in there, and it's not... The other one was bearable, but about 6-7 minutes in, you're like, okay, now I really have to focus to stay in here. Mm-hmm. This one, when it was at the hottest, you have to focus from the second you step inside. You got to get to your seat, put the mats down on the floor, sit, cover everything, and then just breathe. And the way she explained breathing was weird. She's it was a cooling type of breath. So you know how people usually for sports, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Mm-hmm. She said breathe in through pursed lips, so like, and then slowly out your nose. And it's supposed to cool your body down.
That's pretty sick.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I only did it a few times, but I feel maybe it helped. Just focus on my breathing helps a lot. 'Cause I'm not focused on what's going on in my body. I'm just like, see if I can breathe this long.
It's a meditation in
Yeah.
itself, like being in there and challenging yourself for that long and that hot in the heat.
Yeah, you guys got to try it, man. It was unbelievable. Like, me and Hamza came out, and we were like, that was probably one of the hardest things probably the craziest thing I ever did in my life, was getting in that room. Because I went in there at first, I thought it was the regular room.
Yeah.
And I started burning, like I was in pain. And I came outside, and I was like, yo, hold up. I was in there for 3 seconds from walking in and out, and I was already sweated. Like, my body instantly was like, hold up, this is not normal. And I only left because my foot burned. Like, I got a first-degree burn on my foot because I didn't cover it right.
Yeah, I remember taking my sandals off, just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna take my sandals off, and before you know it, the sandal starts heating up, and if you try to walk out of the room without the sandal, it feels like you're walking on hot coals. Yeah, it's yeah, there's nothing like it. You sleep like a baby, right? That same day, you knock out. Yeah, it's amazing. I gotta go. I haven't.
We'll make a work trip.
I don't like the 260. That's too hot for me. I like the slow build, like 180, 190.
Yeah.
In there for 15.
But it's a good challenge to the body, too.
Yeah,
What's like if you go to export? Like what?
Probably like 160.
160 if you have.
I know the steam room gets really hot. There's a point where I was like, man, I can't see where I'm at right now anymore. And like, I might pass out, but I was like, nah, I gotta keep like another breath. But no, at that point I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. Like, it built up so much.
Yeah.
Come to find out later, the dude's like, oh yeah, that was actually broken. Like, the steam just kept coming out. I'm like, bro, I don't think
I can't breathe.
Like, usually it comes in rounds, right? It comes in rounds and goes away, but it just kept coming out. I'm like, is someone trying to kill me right now?
You know how you start freaking out when it gets too hot?
Yes.
A little bit, like, you're like, okay, hold up, like, let me relax my breathing. In there, the freak out was like, if I don't get out, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And I got scared because I was like, I have to walk, pick these. I left my mats on the floor, like, so bad etiquette, but I left my mats on the floor because I couldn't stop to pick them up. I just ran out the door.
I passed out in one of those before.
That's
that
not
was
good.
The streaming stopped because of the internet.
Oh, it'll come back on. Just press live again.
Okay, let's see.
It's still recording.
Yeah, it's still recording. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. So resume.
A little technical difficulties, but we're still
are
here
back.
with you.
It did that like 4 times with the live stream, the fight companion, and the full piece still came out. So
Good
it's all
to know.
good.
Well, we're back.
Yeah, and there's that thing of like, go sweat it out. If you were sick.
Yeah.
I mean, now with everything with the pandemic, everyone, that's even more irresponsible if you're going to go out anywhere where you're sick, right? But that was, I guess, normal. People would like. You would hear people go to like, I'm going to go on the bike on the end of a cold or flu just to get the last,
toxins or whatever.
Yeah, they go and sweat it out. I attempted to do that at the sweat lodge, but it wasn't like the last end of the cold. That was actually probably in the middle of it, irresponsible. I gotta do better. But I remember having a conversation with someone in there and then just like immediately, like, I gotta leave right now. And I got to the door, stumbled, and luckily everything worked out fine. But scary, man. That's the last place you want to be passed out in, right?
I was just thinking, I was like, what if something like on some Final Destination stuff, like something falls in front of the door and I can't get out? I would have died, 100%.
Yeah, I remember hearing stories of wrestling coaches or like parents like forcing their kids to stay in the sauna to cut weight, and then you hear like a kid dies and
Timmy
stuff.
passed out.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. That's like the fact that you can't get out.
Yeah.
That's what's I think going to cause more anxiety and it's a horrible situation to be in.
I was doing breathing exercises in the Midtown steam room one time. I was sitting, luckily, but I fully passed out. Like I woke up like leaning, and then and there was like the layer of steam, and I saw a dude like looking under the steam at me, have you ever anybody ever passed out before? You kind of like shake a little bit when you come back.
No.
And I was like this, and he's like looking concerned, but I'm already kind of coming to, but I can't stop the shaking, so I'm like waiting to say like it's all good, like we're okay. But then I just sat up and I stayed in there. Cause
I never passed out.
Yeah,
I
just
almost
poured-
passed out on the maps once.
You never been put to sleep?
No.
Oh wow!
you want to?
I think that'll be a good episode here. You got to, man. You're almost black belt. You gotta feel it.
That's how you get to that level. You don't get put to sleep.
Yeah, it's
I've been close. A couple of times brick. Hottest almost put me to sleep once too. I tapped. He had me in a bow and arrow, and then I was like trying to fight for his elbow, and I was like, hold up. I was like, it's getting dark in here, and I tapped, and my body just didn't have like the control to like just sit up, so I just rolled off him. I'm pretty sure he thought I died, and I just was like, okay, we're good. Let's start
that's
rolling.
it. You got choked out?
I was conscious the whole time though.
Okay.
yeah,
But that's still kind of choked out.
No.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's probably degrees to it.
Speaking of getting choked out, did you guys see that video on Flow?
Oh. I got you. I'll
Which
pull
one
it
was
up.
that?
There's this I forgot who was the other dude, but he was facing Hulk, and he choked him out at the last second, and the match ended, and he passed out like a couple
Yeah, I saw
seconds
that.
right after.
I got it right here. George hit 7 on.
Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, it's
Oh, Mateus Diniz. Okay.
yeah.
High level.
Watch, he's asleep. Yeah. Look
Yeah.
closely for the little shaky thing. He knows he's good, but
It's now it's on the ref, right? If he deems him unconscious.
But I guess the time went out, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
so like time went out, and then afterwards.
Oh, so
ref
it's
was
out
like,
now.
yeah.
Time's run out. Okay.
And then look, now he passes out.
So why didn't the ref stop him?
That's the whole controversy right there.
Oh, he's out.
and you would imagine Hulk was like probably knew the clock, and he's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't even have to fight it because the clock's gonna run out.
Still got put to sleep. I saw Gordon Ryan post this, and he's like, how are you going to like celebrate the win when you got put to sleep? You basically lost.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting how, you know, when we watch things on camera, you get a view. When you're there live, there's probably so many distractions. Who knows if the ref is even paying close attention. But yeah, I mean the rules of the game determine the way the game is played. You know.
Oh, let's cover the house notes first, like before we get into all the fun stuff. We have the Sunday Student Open, Matt.
Oh
that
yeah,
started already.
we got some cool announcements for the community here. You know, we're obviously in a rebranding process. We're in the model, the structure of the school is changing with the weight room and you know the different amenities we have planned and the changing rooms, etc. If you've been coming, you know what we're talking about. So one of the issues we've been trying to resolve, you know, we've converted the former locker room into a podcast set. So I think this is where the toilet was, right here, where we're sitting. Right? So obviously, people were used to doing things a certain way for so long. They come in this room, they get changed. So during this process of change, we've converted the men's and women's locker rooms into just unisex changing rooms and bathrooms. So, but I think people are still used to, you know, just getting changed the way they would get changed. So every now and then we'll see guys get changed out in the open here. So that's something we obviously want to avoid. One of the issues is we've also moved our lockers around. We don't have anywhere to store the belongings, but that's changing now. We have some pretty cool shelving units we're excited to install this week. So keep an eye out for that. If you're coming to class, look out for those shelving units. Obviously, use them. And try to get changed in those bathrooms or changing booths. What else? Was there anything else we had?
registering. You got to register for both classes. You can't just register for one and then stay for both.
Yeah, that's another good point. You know, another thing that we're trying to do different is we're trying to keep the classes smaller for a variety of reasons. We want to have a better relationship with the students, teachers and students. Whenever the classes are, you know, overwhelmingly large, we run into space issues and just quality issues. We're going to have, moving forward, different class cap sizes. There might be some programs where we'll have a little bit larger class sizes than others, but generally we're trying to keep things 20 or less, generally 20 students or less. So if you are registered for one class at, let's say, 10:30 a.m., when that class is over, if you're going to stay for the next class, we would need you to register for that class too, because we end up having people who sign up for one class, stay for the second, and then a class that's supposed to be capped at 20 now has 25, 30 people. So just a reminder for us all to do our part. So if you're going to stay for two classes, register for both classes.
The main example that I ran into, you know, when you go into a room first and like I get to pick my seat, you know, you get the good spot. People stayed for the first, and then they're already kind of deep in the mats. They already have a sweat going. So when the class starts, they have the prime spots for rolling. And then the person that comes in for the 11:30 that registered for it, that could only make it to the 11:30, I saw literally didn't have space to move and was stepping off the mats and saying, "Oh, can we go in the back?" And that was his only training session that he scheduled. So.
Yeah, another issue, you know, during the pandemic, we obviously, you know, everything was, the whole world seemed like to be just flipped upside down, and we're trying to figure things out with all the different guidelines and, you know, everything involved. So we went through this process where the school's financially struggling, which makes it difficult to have a vibrant class schedule, classes every day, all times of the day. So we ended up coming back with a smaller class schedule. And I think the smaller class schedule is going to just magnify those issues that we just talked about, people not having space in class. So we understand that, and we are working towards developing the schedule. And on that note, it's looking like a Sunday open mat is going to be the first thing added moving forward. And it's looking like July 11th, I believe, if that is a Sunday, July 10th or 11th, one of those days.
I think it's the 11th.
Yeah, we're going to shoot for July 11th, early Sunday open mat. I believe it's 10 a.m. Don't hold me to it. Just keep an eye out for your emails. We'll send those details out as soon as everything's confirmed. But it's pretty likely that's going to happen. And yeah. What else? Was there anything else?
L-Protein Poppy's back on the mats this week after recovering from an LCL sprain.
Let's go.
LCL has entered the chat. They are back.
You training tonight?
No. I got a 4 p.m. Dr. Joe session, and then after that, I'm back.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'm going to try to get Dr. Joe here to do a foam rolling session, something that we can throw on the schedule that people can attend. Not just a session. Hopefully we can get him here for some type of like boot camp setting where he's consistently here for extended period. So yeah, let him know when you see him today that we definitely want him. And
4th of July schedule.
4th of July is falling on a Sunday this year, right?
Oh, that's why we're pushing the first open mat to the 11th.
Yeah, we were gonna do the Sunday open mat starting next week, but that would be 4th of July. So we're going to do the following week. I think that's July 11th, right?
Yeah. You ready for some news?
All of the classes still going on? Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, but I think everything is good to go. No changes because of it falling on a Sunday. You know, we haven't had anything on a Sunday.
Cool.
So, yeah, everything should be good to go. Yeah, you know what? One more thing, just real quick, like another thing that we're doing different. Over the years, we've had the students mention, like, you know, is there a possibility for someone to come and do a self-defense clinic at our office, or can I bring my coworkers to do a private session here? just we've had people organize small group trainings of that nature, and so this is something we're actually in the process of structuring. We know that there's a lot of people that would be willing to train martial arts, but that first step of going to a school is intimidating, and now jumping into class where you don't know anybody makes it even more intimidating. So we're looking at these opportunities where someone has reached out to us and they're excited about getting their friends involved. We're kind of looking at that as like a bridge, so we're going to try to do everything we can to provide as much value to people in that situation. So for example, if you are interested in getting some of your coworkers involved in jiu-jitsu, or your friends and family, there's a group of you, we got to do the math, but I think it's either 5 or 6. If your group is at least 5 to 6 people, we'd be willing to structure something where you would have your own instructor and you would have your own class, not just for one time, but if you have 5 to 6 people who are dedicated, they want to learn, but they're not ready to jump into classes with regular people that they don't know. They'd rather train with friends and family or coworkers. We have a pretty cool structure that we're preparing where you'd be able to consistently train with your friends and family, have your own private instructor, and hopefully use that to get you more comfortable here and to eventually lead you to the general classes, if that's something that is going to work out for you. So yeah.
Cool. Did you also mention the merch?
Merch drop we said July 25th on last week's episode, but I think we're moving that to July 26th.
Yeah.
25th was a Friday. We're going to try to do this on the Saturday. The gear is going to be what I'm wearing here. Can't really see the back.
Mm-hmm. Got the back right here. I'll show a little bit of the back of my angle.
Yeah, you got
the bandana print with the green. Pretty dope.
Yeah, very cool. And we're excited about those. We got those in green. We got those in white. And
we're going to do a Bring Your Friend Self-Defense seminar.
On July 26th, when we do the merch drop, we're going to also have a Bring a Buddy Day, a free self-defense seminar, again, designed to introduce some people to the beautiful art of jiu-jitsu and all the benefits it has. So keep an eye out for that email. Again, it's July 26th, I believe. That's a Saturday. We usually have classes at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. We'll most likely convert one of those to a free self-defense seminar. And yeah, it'll be a good opportunity to come in, check out the merch that we're dropping, bring a buddy, have them do a free class, and have a good time. Maybe get some food catered or something.
Real
we'll see.
Quick, we got Fadi saying, "Looking good, guys. Great job on the podcast."
Much love.
Thank you, Mr. Fadi. Yeah, Fadi, if you guys remember, you guys were all here when Fadi did his leadership course, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure were.
He dropped some major gems on us. Do you guys remember anything in particular from that course?
Leadership.
And what do you remember from like what he was breaking down regarding leadership?
Man, that's you put me on the spot.
What I remember, what he said was the strongest tool of leadership, or one of the, and Fadi, if you're still there, correct me. Basically, communication is one of the strongest tools in leadership. And a lot of our difficulties come from lack of communication or just ineffective forms of communication. So thank you, Fadi. I did not forget. I still got the work packet there. And thank you, man. Hopefully we'll do it again. So yeah, what do we have here? We have Matthias, Diniz, and Hulk going at it.
So we got Clarissa Shields to have her second MMA bout August 27th. And I just thought this was cool because she's being very active in mixed martial arts. And she's the first high-level boxer to actually take a real crack at it.
Oh yeah, I've seen an interview with her before. So what's her boxing?
Oh, she's incredible.
Yeah, she's a great boss.
I'm pretty sure she's Olympic gold medalist, undefeated. Nobody, she fought. They're one-sided fights.
She was talking about MMA training is so much harder than boxing training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she shouted out jiu-jitsu too.
her first fight, I don't know if you guys saw it, but she literally got taken down and beaten up for the first 2 rounds, mounted for almost 5 minutes straight twice, and then in the third round, she did a nice little bridge roll, created a scramble,
nice,
got on top and finished the girl with strikes. So she actually has some grit. She didn't give up. The girl had a fully extended arm bar. Not the best escapes, like definitely some stuff to work on, but she didn't give up, and it was really cool.
Clarissa, if you're in Chicago at any point,
Come through.
come through.
Get on
I got all the mount escapes for you.
Who are some of the more accomplished boxers? I know like James Toney, he crossed over, but he was at the end of his career. He was like way deep in, so close towards retirement.
There's none.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like the really high level boxers, I feel like it goes to that like kind of comfort level thing. You probably grew up and you're like this phenom boxer, and you think like you're super tough. You could beat up anybody in the world, and then you go into a grappling setting and you're literally the worst in the room the first day.
I don't think that's it.
You don't think so?
At the highest level, it's money.
Yeah, I was about to say, you think it could be the cash, like the boxing money?
I'd never, if I was a boxer and I was making millions per fight, I wouldn't fight nowhere else. Because I know that nobody else is offering that money.
You go to MMA fight, you make a
And
fraction
for
of
a chance to lose.
But supposedly a lot of these boxers, unless you are the top draw, their pay scale is not so different than the UFC, I think.
We're talking about high level guys.
Yeah, at the top.
That's
right,
why those.
yeah.
I'm sure there's boxers, like professional boxers, that go into MMA all the time, but not the well-known guys.
Yeah.
The only one that's talking about is Ryan Garcia. He said he's gonna try to fight the best people in boxing in the next 2 years, and then he's just transitioning to MMA.
Hell yeah, Ryan Garcia. I'll give you privates, man. I promise.
Yeah,
Anyone we mention, I'm just gonna say,
I respect that so much.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta have that grit.
you know, I noticed a lot of, like, if you become the top of the food chain in your style, whether it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, wrestling, it's pretty common that, you know, you have like a very particular strategy. Mm-hmm. And again, the rules of the game determine the way that the game is played. And some of these guys, their strategy just doesn't cross over as well into MMA. Like maybe it's because maybe if they're training with the gi, maybe they're using the gi to get to that top level, or if they're doing maybe wrestling, their particular way of scoring in wrestling is just not the best way to approach an MMA, match. I thought that was interesting. Just because you are the best in a certain style doesn't mean you're going to have the best results crossing over to MMA. Sometimes you see guys who weren't that great of a. Look at Jon Jones. He was not the most accomplished college wrestler. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wrestled.
Wasn't he JUCO national champ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still JUCO.
Yeah,
junior
I mean,
college.
that's still
He's not
that's
D1
pretty
national
That's
champ.
pretty
Yeah.
damn good accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
But it's not going to
Junior
be.
Oh, okay.
Not going to be someone like.
That's not like Olympic, like Jordan.
Like
Jordan
Daniel
Bros,
Cormier.
Yeah. But hey, he took Daniel Cormier down in their first fight.
That's what I'm
for the
talking
first
about,
time
right?
in his career. Like
Yeah.
4 times.
Yeah. That's.
Well, that's the beauty of Jon Jones. He'll go to where you're good, and he'll be like, I'm better. That's why he became my favorite fighter of all time.
Yeah.
He fought everybody, and then just like would stand up with stand-up fighters. Wouldn't be scared to go to the ground with ground fighters.
Try to armbar Vitor Belfort.
Yeah. Oh my God, the guy's out of his mind.
No. I'm sorry. Vitor Belfort armbarred him.
That was the closest he got to a finish. It looked like, and he was like, "Nah, man." Kind of just wedge between them with the knee and just pulled it out.
Yeah, I think the body types, like the guy's got super long arms and
Longest reach. He always has like 5-6 inches reach on everybody.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like when it comes to grappling, in my experience, those guys usually can give you just some difficulties. Just that it's like they get extra leverage. You know what I mean? I remember trying to armbar someone who was like is one of those long, lengthy guys. He just had difficulty trying to find the elbow placement on my hip. So yeah, you can get thrown off by that length.
That's difficult to deal with, and there's also people who are very like rubbery, like you think you pass their guard and their knee comes in front of your face, and now there's a foot here. EJ's like that.
Yeah,
I'll pass EJ's guard, and then there's a knee in the way, and I'm like, I swear I just passed your guard.
what would they call that? Dexterity?
Dexterity, yeah.
Bendiness.
Bendy.
No.
Bendy boy.
Gumby. Do you guys,
Gumby.
you guys old enough to remember Gumby?
Yeah.
Is that green,
The little
like,
green.
the green stretchy thing?
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we have
Oh, you
here?
guys see this? This is Rachel Ostovich versus Paige Van Zandt in a bare knuckle boxing match. They're set to fight. I guess that's coming up this weekend.
Awesome. Super nice.
They're in the same
Very
division.
good.
Yeah, they fought in the UFC.
They fought in the UFC, yeah.
Was that 125?
Probably couldn't be much bigger than that.
What do you guys think about the bare knuckle, like, business model?
Dope. Wait, what do you mean by the business model?
Like, they're just putting on this stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, this is
it's
great.
good.
Yeah, this is great. I agree.
It's dope. You see, like, all right, yo, what if I want to see somebody actually, like, without the gloves? You
I mean,
know,
yeah,
like, boom.
we saw Artem Lobov versus Paulie Malignaggi, a year and a half ago, and
Yeah.
Artem beat him.
Same thing, right? Like Paulie was a champion, and maybe his. And again, they're older; they're not in their prime. But yeah, now there's no gloves. How does that change? Some people block a certain way. That if they were wearing gloves, it works. If they're not wearing gloves, you probably shouldn't block that way. But yeah, the rules of the game determine the way the game is played. I think that's a interesting quote. But yeah, this is
Andre Feely. You guys got to hear the audio for this one, so I'm gonna unplug it real quick. It's just Andre Feely speaking at the press conference. He's speaking about.
I have a great deal of respect for what Connor's done in the sport. Like, I really, really respect Connor. Like, he's high tide raises all ships. He's done a lot for the sport. Dustin is a dude that I have a great deal of respect for because he's a fighter's fighter. When I look at that dude, I'm like, nothing given, everything earned. He's a fucking man. Like, he battled his way through the sport, and actually is inspiring to me because it took him. He took the long road to a belt. He took the long road to being a household name. And that's something I think my career is sort of following that same path. So I like both. I know it's not the answer you're looking for, but I like both dudes, and I hope both dudes get a big fat fucking paycheck and fight 5 more times, whatever. Like, I just want the best for guys like that. Like, say whatever you want about Connor, say whatever you want about Dustin. They're both real fighters, and I hope they get all the money in the world from fighting. Like, I just wish them the best.
I just feel like that's a rather new perspective for most MMA fighters on Connor and the big money paydays.
what was that quote? A rising tide
Raises all ships.
raises all ships.
Yeah.
Basically, just like you get all the clout, you get a little bit of their clout, boom, you're on top.
Yeah. Everyone he's fought got a little bit of a name. Once he blew up, like nobody knows who was it, Dennis Seaver.
Yeah. Those are just
guys.
sheep. Those are just sheep tossed in the cage. But Andre Feely, but to add to him, he had an incredible performance this past weekend. It ended up no contest because he accidentally poked the guy in the eye, but he was lighting this guy up. Yeah, he looked great.
Yeah, I think that's the quote, right? The rising tide raises all ships. I mean, that's kind of, if you look and see, I think one reason why Connor's name is mentioned so much is because people love him or people hate him, right? People have to draw their. I haven't met too many people who are indifferent. They kind of either really like the guy, they really don't like the guy, but for whatever reason, that is the numbers are the viewership, the money.
I just read this quote this morning. There's nothing more dangerous than collective jealousy. And I feel like during Connor's whole uprising, I feel like the whole community shared collective jealousy towards him. And now this is kind of the realization that from younger fighters, like, oh no, he really helped us. When the people that were in the same part of their career had collective jealousy towards him because they're like, oh, we only have a few years left. This trickle down is probably not going to get to us. So they were jealous. As far as the young fighters, we noticed the difference in the pay and we have 10 years ahead of us.
Yeah, can you imagine living the time of Muhammad Ali, for example, while he was doing what he did? I don't think he was as celebrated as he is now that he's dead.
No.
Right? Like now he's a legend. Now he's but at that time, I'm sure there was a lot of collective jealousy too. There was people resentment but yeah, time will tell, I guess.
Everybody wants to be the man, but not everybody can be the man. That's where the jealousy comes from.
Put that on a shirt.
For real. Our first podcast merch.
So this one, I'm gonna have to unplug it again. This is Michael Bisping talking about an altercation that he had on the street.
Bisping revealed on Twitter that he got punched in the face last night. He wrote was just assaulted. Guy got.
Well, I thought that was him speaking, but it was actually a news report. Basically, Michael Bisping was recording some people performing on the street, and some guy was like, "Hey, you can't record here," and Michael Bisping was like, "I can though," and the guy was like, "No, you can't," and punched him in the face. And Michael Bisping said, "Oh, here's the quote. It's right here."
Was just assaulted. Guy got in my face for filming on a public street. I told him to go away and he punched me. Was literally so soft I laughed at him. So funny that someone acts so tough. It's like a beat. I laughed and walked away. Man, I'm mature these days. Yeah, imagine Michael Bisping like on the come up. He probably would have tore that guy to pieces. Mm-hmm. He still would. I mean, but I'm saying just.
He said he was lucky it wasn't young Mikey B.
Yeah, that's.
That was his DJ name.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Bisping was a DJ.
Yeah, I think especially when you're younger and you're trying to develop your personality, your reputation, deal with your insecurities, people are just more inclined to be like react impulsive, and usually it's to probably prove something to your friends or something to yourself. But it's that insecurity ultimately. And Michael Bisping doesn't have to really prove himself to anybody. He's fought in the UFC. He's a UFC champion. So I think, and you get that here too, like on a different scale, where I think you were dealing with humans are. We all have pent up energy, whether it's frustration, stress, so many different emotions, and it seems like sometimes it feels like people play hot potato with those frustrations. Like any chance they can get to like throw that onto you to feel better about themselves, and then if you're not careful, you'll go and throw that onto someone else. So. I mean, that's how I look at this stuff. This guy who did this to him is obviously not the most balanced person.
Yeah.
Seems insecure. But when you go and you train, you get that energy out. You don't got time for this stuff. Older you get, you also realize it's just a mess. Mm-hmm. You end up hitting somebody, and now you got to potentially get lost with. Everyone has a camera, and what's that old saying? If you wrestle with pigs, you get dirty. That's what a lot of this stuff is.
Imagine the headlines if Bisping didn't just put out this tweet. This is funny. This is like, oh, Bisping's a good guy. He matured. Imagine if the headline was Michael Bisping sent a man into a coma.
Yeah.
Another fighter just knocked some dude out in a bar.
On that note, right?
I just saw it this morning. I forgot who it was.
Was it to do with the afro?
No idea. It
might have been Violent Bob Ross. I saw he got arrested.
Is that better than watching or like reading about an MMA fighter being knocked out by somebody in the street? Or would you rather see
that happens too, man? That happens too. I at this stage of my life, I think if you're walking, if you're out and it's late, and then you're in an area where there's people who are intoxicated, that's an energy. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a group of drunk guys and you have to walk past them, that is a particular energy, So that is just that's what you're getting. If you're gonna go and hang out, at certain places, like that comes with it,
Imagine choosing the guy to punch in the face and it's a UFC champion.
But imagine he doesn't get the explanation that Bisping was just very nice to him, and he goes home and he's like, yeah, I punked this dude today. He's just
him.
I feel like people like that they're telling their own narrative all the time. I was just telling Ebo the other day, like you see people post on their stories like these quotes and like these very toxic quotes, and like it's like seems like you're speaking your own narrative on your social medias about your very weird interactions that are just filled with insecurity.
Yeah. Putting your own spin on things.
Yeah, I checked this guy today. It was crazy. Did nothing.
Oh man,
you should have seen him. His ears were gross. Yeah, he was probably like
yeah,
his eye.
Yeah, ear deformities.
Yeah, I think if we live long enough, we're probably going to regret most of the things we've ever posted on social media.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
1,000%.
Yeah, it's.
You ever get Facebook flashbacks? You ever get your memories on Facebook?
I got access to my Facebook not too long ago, right from like high school, and I went through it, and it was the most embarrassing things I ever seen. I'm glad I deleted that.
Yeah.
What was the one that you just saw the other day, bro?
I'm not repeating it.
You.
Yeah, but nobody's ever gonna know.
Raw XD.
Probably at some point. I'm sure if you look back far enough.
Are you guys ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
So this one, the TikToker versus YouTube boxing match. None of the fighters have gotten paid, and they only got about 100,000 pay-per-view buys when they were estimating 500,000. That's pretty much. Oh yeah, here. Where's some tweets? Yeah, here we go.
136,000.
We should host the next one.
So yes, they might not get paid, any of them.
Not even the announcers have been paid, it says.
Instant regret.
Oh man, did he fight too? Fossey too?
No, he commentated.
Compensated, yeah.
Yeah, that's not that surprising. When
Yeah.
you're dealing with promoters
And Austin McBroom was like, no, they're lying. I swear it was more pay-per-views.
We're working to verify the financial results. Yeah, I don't know. I just would never watch that.
It's just not looking good. And,
I hope it goes bad.
and all the young kids, every single young kid illegally streamed it.
True, right? We got the
Like
parents.
their demographic has no money.
Yeah, where do they
yeah,
go?
that's interesting.
Yeah, they make money off the free content from the AdSense, and they're like, oh wait, we have this audience. Let's see if they'll actually pay for an event. It's like,
No chance.
No, we watch your free content.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah,
Who's
that's an
gonna pay
interesting
to watch these guys box? Come on.
Yeah.
My kids were loving it. Remember,
Oh my gosh, we're doing a live stream. They're like, oh, you watch it? We're gonna watch the fights tonight. I'm like, oh yeah, you excited about it? It's Israel Adesanya's fighting.
Yeah.
And that's obviously who's fighting that night, And they're like, yeah, I'm really excited for Bryce Hall versus Austin McBroom. Who do you think's gonna win? I was like,
What?
You sit on the couch, watch this fight.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic these days. When I was a kid, playing video games was a complete waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most parents would say. But now, like, these guys just meant they're gamers, right? Or YouTubers. They play games on YouTube.
Some of them.
That's the life. YouTube gamers. That's the life I wish I could live.
Some of them.
I'll try. I'm gonna still try one day.
Some of them
Yeah.
are like slaved into it. Like they're like in the houses, like the gaming houses, like they're forced to play for like hours.
Yeah.
And
If
like,
you
straight up
if you
just,
told
like,
me in 5th grade I had to be locked in the house and play video games,
yeah,
I'm like,
that's different.
say
though.
less.
That's different when you're like
Perfect.
our age.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, there's something interesting about this generation. I don't remember my generation liking to watch other people play games.
You
It was like,
couldn't.
it was always like, my turn. I want to play.
Yeah.
But now it seems like this. I've seen so many of the new generation. They're content with just watching other people play.
The thing for me is, I'll watch other people play a game. I'll watch a walkthrough of a game because I want to see what the game is like, but I don't want to pay for it.
No, yeah, it's like a sample without playing the game.
Yeah.
And like by a good person.
Or if it's a really scary game, nah, I can't do it. But I'm like, I want to see how it goes though.
I like watching it, because I'm not good at video games.
Yeah, you're not.
Y'all know this.
You're not.
So I like watching somebody tearing it up. Because I'm like, oh, that's what this video game is supposed to be like.
Yeah,
It's
man.
kinda when
like
me, it's like I'm
satisfying.
just twisting, looking at the ceiling. I'm just like, this
You'll
is. I'm
never be
upset.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now these new games, it feels like you got to take a course to learn how to play them.
Yeah.
Now the controllers have so many more buttons, more things to figure out. I'm just getting old. The brain's not working as well. Because the younger kids, man, they're picking it up quick.
If you found a game you liked, you'd get in there.
Yeah.
If you were in the beginning of quarantine when Warzone was popping and we were all on Warzone until 4 a.m, it was the best time of my life. Probably.
This is so fun.
Top 5 times of my life. Yeah. Coming home and just playing Warzone for like 8 hours straight because
all over again.
and you can't feel bad because we were in quarantine, first weeks of quarantine, and it was like, no, this is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It felt like a sick leave from school.
It was the best.
Right? That's what
It
it,
was
felt
the
like. You had the perfect
best thing.
excuse to just chill at home.
Yeah.
No one could tell you otherwise. Like, no, hey, what are you doing? Get off that. Like,
Go do something. I'm
what am
like, I
supposed to
can't.
do?
The stores are closed. What do you want from me?
How much do you think that probably played into the whole experience? Right? Like some people just didn't want that to change. Like, I don't want this to
I
change.
got tired of it quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm all routine, man. If I end up going to the gym regularly, those the way I live my life. I'm at the gym all the time. If I end up becoming lazy, it feels hard to get out of that mode, you know.
So right here we have what we have here is a separate branch of humanity that is not on its way to being Homo sapiens, but represents a long separate lineage which evolved in the region for several thousand years. So they found a skull of what they're calling like the dragon man, and it's not our species, but it's like they were living alongside of us, and they just died out and we didn't. So
It's like a homeless person I've seen on the street.
They're still out here.
We're definitely still here.
I saw this guy last week.
Call him
I think I'm half this.
But yeah, it's like they're just like very closely related to Homo sapiens. Is that it?
uncle.
But they're not us.
How many family members do you have like this?
I got a
at
few
least
on speed
3.
dial.
But this just this immediately made me think like like the dwarves, elves, blah blah, all these myths of like different races. I was like, well, this guy definitely could be something. That's like, it's definitely like, wouldn't you would be able to recognize like he's not exactly me. He's close, but he's not exactly.
I mean, what's different? Looks like a human being.
Apparently like
Skull
the skull is
shape.
like wildly more dense.
I know a guy who's got that same skull from like scar tissue buildup on the eyebrows. I don't want to mention his name.
I was about to say, call him out.
If I put a picture up right now, you'll agree.
You know,
I was like, who with the eyebrows built like that? He's got his eyebrows built into his skull.
I do too. I have this like little bridge right here.
see, show the camera.
Yeah, not like that though.
No, not like that.
I just thought this was very cool. Just like there was different species of not even humans, like a little bit different.
Interesting.
Yeah. Nothing?
His skull suggests he was powerfully built and rugged. To survive back then, you gotta be, huh?
Or like maybe that was like an orc. You know, what people called orcs or something.
I feel like orcs would be uglier. Like
Are you looking
That
at
dude's
this?
pretty ugly.
yeah, but like more. Orcs are like
Green.
and they're deformed.
Yeah,
this
that's,
dude's like you could tell this dude's like kind of human.
Yeah.
Orcs should be like, nah, that dude's not a human.
Orcs are fairy tales, though. They
Well, I
can do
mean,
whatever
this
you want.
this just proves that there was literally other types of humans like living alongside humans.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool.
No, this guy's still here, man.
Yeah. What was this? Oh, I wanted your perspective on this, Adam, because this is basically a student getting disciplined about what they're saying on Snapchat about their school. And I don't think your kids have phones yet, do they?
No, they don't.
So
Nice.
basically, like, you want to read that, hey, bro?
The Supreme Court upheld a decision from the Third Circuit Appeals Court, which had ruled in Levi's favor. The lower court cited a 1969 court decision which said public schools couldn't monitor certain speech since it happened off campus. Supreme Court took a different view, writing that while public schools may have a special interest in regulating some off-campus students' speech, the special interests offered by the school are not sufficient to overcome BL's interest in free expression in this case.
She was basically saying, here's the quote.
Just F everything.
Everything about the school.
this place. Everyone felt like that in high school at some point.
Yeah. But
On her first Snapchat post, man, getting caught up on your first Snapchat post, alongside a photo of her and her friend flipping off the camera.
So how do you think this happened? Do you think the school subscribes to
snitched.
hers and her channel, and then they saw it, or like someone
definitely tattled.
someone like probably screenshot this and sent it, and then
But would you be upset if, like, you get called in from your life, like work, come in, and they're like, your son posted this, and you're like, you called me into the school to scold my son about something he put on his phone, and you're suspending him for something that he put on his phone that doesn't hurt anybody, just like he's an upset
Yo, that happened
15-year-old?
to me in middle school, but I can't tell the story here.
That happened to me also in middle school. I'll tell a story.
yeah, I mean it's so case by case, right? Because we live in Chicago, right? Like the schools here, they're overcrowded.
Yeah.
And that just seems so unnecessary, or I mean, maybe not unnecessary. I don't know.
Would there be any part of you that's like looking at the principal going, why are you looking at my son's Snapchat?
I don't know, because I feel like if you're the principal that comes with the territory. Like people are going to send you things.
Okay.
If he's out there now, like
Adding stuff.
going above and beyond, you know, like making fake profiles and stuff like that, then that's super weird. But
You think it could be because maybe they're thinking it's like he's like saying F this, F that, F school. Maybe they're thinking it's like a school shooter type situation where they're like,
No, this was two young girls talking about like the softball team and the cheer team.
Nice.
yeah, but maybe that could lead them to that. I mean, I'm just saying maybe that could be the reason why. Other than that, it's like
What's the statistics on
Extra.
girls being school shooters?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's slim to
low.
none.
yeah, I kind of feel like, man, if we had this technology 50 years ago, this would have happened 50 years ago. Like this is probably your, yeah, I don't know. We're all kind of getting used to this new technology now.
That scared me so bad.
that hurt my ears.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. You know, I can see the position that the school may feel that they are in, and they have to, because that's what a lot of times things come down to. There are people, even like look at our situation. We're managing a school. If one person brings something to our attention, we almost have some obligation to address it now, and how we address it is sometimes under a spotlight too. So then people are kind of just doing what they feel they have to do to cover themselves. So that might be at play too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a little bit indifferent.
Okay. So this next one, I think you guys will think this is pretty funny. So a lab analysis was done to determine whether a Subway tuna sandwich contains tuna DNA. Turns out there's no tuna in Subway tuna.
Really?
All good. If
Yeah.
you eat at Subway still in 2021, you deserve to eat whatever that is.
Shout out Marco.
Man, I used to love eating Subway.
Me too.
And I heard that about, I don't know, I heard this before in one of these fast food places where they checked it and it's not actually what.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I think that's so crazy, man. Like, how do we allow that as a society, man? Like,
Because Jared lost weight using it.
Isn't he in jail?
yeah,
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. The world I grew up in doesn't exist no more. I remember it was an issue to like have the burger look a little bit bigger than it actually is. Like that was, then they had to put a little thing in there, not the actual size, but it seems like you can do a lot more these days. If you can sell a tuna sandwich that's not a tuna, what is it?
They literally like analyzed it and found zero tuna DNA in the tuna.
Do they claim that it is tuna? That there's?
I mean, yeah, Subway's kind of saying like, "Hey guys, no, I swear to God, it's tuna."
Yeah.
They're saying like maybe like the over processing or they cooked the DNA out of it.
Oh, because some of the meats have fillers.
Yeah.
And maybe the fillers overtook what the meat. It's more filler than actual.
Yeah.
If you're eating meat and not filler, probably change where you're eating, you know?
Yeah, it's
I mean, just look at that.
Not contain tuna or any ingredient that constitutes tuna.
It's like cat food.
Dude, I'm pretty sure my cat food has real tuna in it. It says on the can.
Yeah, it's just yuck.
Yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't mind every Subway changing into something else. There's so many of them. Imagine like a nice.
Potbellies.
the Potbellies, yeah. There's already
they probably get the same meat.
Yeah. Here we go. This is Florida woman confused to find $1 billion in her bank account, billions and billions, in her bank account that wasn't really there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like her balance was 999 million. She's like, oh my God, I was horrified. I know most people would think they won the lottery, but I was horrified. She explained, adding that she went to the ATM to take out $20. When I put in for the 20, the machine came back and said, we'll give you 20, but that's all because the overdraft charge, overdraft charge. But yeah, then her receipt said $1 billion.
Hell yeah.
Just typo, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It was. I feel like that. I like to think that it was like some kind of cover up, and there was an accidental transfer into her bank account, so they had to lock it. But
Yeah, somebody came to her house after and was like, hey, keep this on the low.
Where's my money?
it was like the
We'll
movie.
run you a few thousand.
It was like the movie Wanted. Have you guys seen Wanted?
Yeah.
No.
With the guns.
So good.
Yeah, where they're curving the bullets
Oh,
and
that was,
Where he checks his account and he has $1 million in there.
Yeah.
And so he yells at his manager and then hits his
that was a
work
great
friend
scene,
with
yeah.
a keyboard.
Oh, that was the best.
Yeah.
That's every cubicle guy's dream.
That's all I got though. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Nice. We are at 3:20, so right on time.
Billions and billions.
Is that an hour?
About
For real?
Just about.
Yeah, very cool. If you're tuning in midway through or recently, this is the Downtown Jiu Jitsu Club podcast. We're going to be doing this every week. God willing, we'll be consistent with it. And we're using this to communicate with our little community here and the larger community as well, talking about issues that pertain to being in a martial arts school, everything that comes along with the martial arts journey, as well as you saw, some of the current events, just chiming in on those. But yeah, it's we got an interesting week ahead. We got to install these cubbies. We got to figure out a way how to make sure we do that right. We got the weight room rounding out too. It's we're still trying to get rid of a few floor mats. So if anyone's watching this and you want to take advantage of, we're going to probably throw them away because we're just trying to get rid of as much clutter as we can in the back. So if you're watching this, you want it. That's the storm.
Oh, is it? Oh, is that raining?
Yeah, I was
I gotta
hoping I
text
can beat
I thought that was a sound effect.
Maybe that's the train.
that. Sounded like a thunder. Yeah, I was trying to. You took the scooter here today?
No, but I left my scooter out front. I shouldn't have.
You left?
Yeah.
Yes, after you got your scooter stolen, I left mine in front of my house. Yeah.
Oh, in front of you. I thought you meant you left it out here.
No.
Yeah. But that does it for us, people. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week, next Monday. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. All the best. Have a great week.
Follow us on all the social medias: Downtown Jiu Jitsu Club, Adem Redzovic, Coach Ebro, Dougie C, L Protein Poppy. Subscribe.
YouTube channel.
Like, subscribe.
Peace.
Like, subscribe.
All that. Leave some comments. Let us know what you guys think. What you guys want to hear next. Maybe something we talk about.
Do you like the Subway tuna?
Will you eat there? Peace.